Okay, today I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Instead of just playing a game myself and commentating over it, I'm actually going to be watching some other people play. And today I'm actually going to be watching a game between two of the best players on the server. Strange Carrots is going to be our point of view. So this is a game that he's put up on his Ustream. I definitely recommend you checking it out. Probably a bit hard to see the URL here, but I'll post it. Definitely worth checking out his games. He's got lots of really high-level games against some of the best players, and he is possibly the best player, or at least right up there. And he's up against Veringatorix, another really, really good player. And if the title is to be believed, this is a really close game between these two great players. I haven't actually watched this one myself, so I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know who wins, so it'll be as much a surprise to you as it will be me. Okay, what kind of builds do we have here? Looks like Raven, or Strange Carrots, as he's called in the game. He's using a pretty standard build. I've seen him use a couple of times. 2 Thrashers, 1 Provoker, 1 Warhawk, and 2 Siege Archers. So this team has heaps and heaps of armor break. Everyone's got high armor break, except probably the Warhawk. I'm not sure how much armor break he actually runs on the Warhawk. But the Warhawk definitely has high strength, from what I've seen previously. Pretty loose formation here. Okay, let's have a look at Veringatorix. Okay, similar here, no Warhawk. He's actually got Provoker and then brings in a Backbiter instead of a Warhawk, and then 2 Thrasher, 2 Siege Archers. So very similar teams, main difference being this Warhawk is traded out for a Backbiter. So you're losing out on a bit of strength when you take the Backbiter, but you're getting a lot more maneuverability, so you can get to those archers. If you don't have quite the firepower to punch through armor. You can see Varying's Provoker has very high armor, so he's going to actually be able to tank the Warhawk early, as long as he doesn't get hit by any Thrasher armor breaks early on. The Provoker on Strange Carrot's side, a bit less armor but a lot of strength. Heaps of strength on that guy. So he's actually still going to be quite a threat late game if they're not able to take down all that armor. You're actually talking about the War Leader, which is one of the planned classes. The guys at Stoic have been letting slip a couple little hints about what he might do. Apparently it's going to be some kind of buff that can affect everyone on your team, or at least anyone on your team. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what units they still have planned. This is still pretty early in the beta, so there's quite a lot of changes still to come. In the next week they're actually planning on unveiling a change that'll make killing units a bit more rewarding, because at the moment in most cases you're better off maiming units until you get towards the end of the game, because otherwise the player will get an efficiency advantage. Basically, if you kill their units and the units they're left behind with have really high average strength or average effectiveness in battle, then those units will get to act a lot more than your possibly weakened or maimed units. So it'll give them an edge. So for example, one Warhawk at the end of the game with full armor, full strength can probably take out a full team of injured guys, especially if he gets off a couple of Tempests. So you really got to be careful in the late game, and at all points in the game, to make sure you don't accidentally kill units that you could just leave on 1 or 2 strength. So the early game, as in most matches, is mostly about positioning, making sure you keep your defensive advantages and looking for an opportunity to strike. So not a whole heap happening here. Thrashers are sticking together to give each other their armor bonuses in case they do get attacked. We'll probably see one charge off in a minute. And Thrashers are great at that 1-2 punch. So one runs in, knocks armor off, next one runs in and goes for a strength attack. Fortunately, the low strength on Thrashers is starting to make me think that I should 1-2 with a Backbiter instead of a Thrasher. So I might actually be mixing up my build soon to get my 1-2 punch with Thrasher Backbiter. So yeah, still positioning. Still nothing super exciting yet. The most interesting stuff that's happening is the chatting. I don't know if you guys will be able to read it. I can just kind of make it out. Just talking about plan changes to the game, stuff like that. Hopefully it'll pick up soon. So we can see the Siege Archer ability down here, which Varying put down. Basically you fire 5 squares of tar, so a little cross pattern you can see. When you first shoot it down, you put this arrow in the middle, which is kind of like a fuse, but that arrow hit, that first initial hit does 1 armor and 1 strength damage to whoever is in that tile. And then at the start of the Siege Archer's next turn, or if the tar gets detonated by another arrow, it'll actually do 1 strength and 1 armor damage to any unit that's occupying one of those squares. Now of course we've got some big units like these Vals that actually occupy 3 of the squares, so if they're standing on one of those on 3 squares when it detonates, then they'll take 3 armor and 3 strength. So this Siege Archer special ability is really good against Vals, especially if you can keep them locked down on that one spot. It's also very good if you want to avoid taking down armor. So if you've got a really high armor but low strength provoker, you can use, on the enemy team that is, you can use these siege arrows, the tar. You can also use things like Bloody Flail and the Thrashers, which bypass and hit strength straight away, to take out that strength and maim them so they're no threat without having to punch through all that armor, which can take quite a number of turns. So it looks like the formations are getting a lot closer together. Someone's probably bound to make a move at any moment. Looks like Varying's kind of using this this tar defensively. I need to look up the name of that ability. I haven't checked it out yet. Oh, we've got some action. So Thrasher charging in. I expect a massive armor break attack. Knocks off 5 armor of the enemy Thrasher. So first action of the game. Exciting stuff. You can see a bit of repositioning down this side. He wants to get the Warhawk in position, but he doesn't want to charge in to where he can get 1-2 comboed by the Provoker and the Backbiter. Because he's got very low armor, so basically he doesn't want to use this Warhawk until the Warhawk can get off an attack without taking a hit. Now this Siege Archer is getting dangerously close, basically 1 square closer and he'd be able to attack him. Fortunately, the Siege Archer only has 6 strength, so it wouldn't actually do any damage to the Warhawk that has 8 armor. But as soon as that armor gets knocked off, he's going to be taking damage. So the highest strength on Varying's team is this Backbiter. He'd actually be able to do 3 damage to the Warhawk at the moment. But 3 is only going to pop it down to 13. He's still going to be able to punch over the top of everyone's armor, so they probably wants to get off an armor break before he goes in for a proper hit. So you can see both of Carrot's Siege Archers are 7/7, so that's kind of a pretty balanced build. A fair bit of willpower, so that way they can get off those nice chunky armor breaks. 5 armor break on a range unit, really strong. Good mix of defense and offense. And we've got 8/6 on Varying's side, so slightly more defense. He's trying to keep these guys alive into the late game, so that way when all the enemies are on low armor, he can punch through it with that puncture passive, which gives them +1 damage for every 2 armor the enemy unit's missing. So an armor break on the Provoker yet there. As I said before, that Provoker's got very low armor for a Provoker. Had 14 compared to... not that low, I guess. That's pretty standard. That was with an armor bonus as well though. So he's down to 10, so still not low enough that he'll start taking strength damage, but he's getting there. 1 more armor break and they'll be able to start softening him up. And remember, this Provoker has a lot of strength, so he is actually a nasty threat on this team. You can't just ignore a Provoker that's got 12 strength. You're going to have to whittle him down at some point. So we've got a line of tar here. It's like a dead man zone. No one really wants to move on to that, especially not with their Vals. We're going to be taking at the least 1-1 and possibly 3-3, which is a ton. So I expect this side of the battlefield to be really clumpy and slowed down, but there's a lot of action happening over here. Unfortunately for Vering, where all the action's happening, he has 2 guys and Raven has 4 guys. So he's going to be losing that fight pretty quickly if he's not careful. Here we could see that 3 damage, yep. Oh, 5, he pumps it up with 2 willpower. So now the Warhawk's not really a threat to anyone. Most units have enough armor that he's not going to be doing too much damage to him. He's been softened up enough that he's not really scary. So that was a really nice play, using that 2 willpower and the extra willpower to move to get there in the first place. So we've got a bloody flail on the archer, really softens them up, knocking down their armor and their strength. I'm not a huge fan of bloody flails early on, unless you really need to knock off a couple of points of strength and their armor's annoyingly large. It can be good if you've got multiple neighbouring allies, because then you get that +1 strength damage on that last hit of it. But he's using it to good effect here, kind of like softening up the enemy so they're not going to be counter-attacking with any great strength. I prefer to just knock off armor and then try to follow up with the second punch, the 1-2 punch, and knock off a chunk of strength and maim them straight away. But when you know you're not going to be able to get off that 1-2 punch, then going with a bloody flail is definitely a good idea. So here you can see Carrots has said, oh, you're going to attack me for 3 and then pump it for 2. I'm going to do the exact same thing back to you. And I'm going to have a lot more strength than you, and you're not going to be able to punch over my armor anymore. So he's kind of won this skirmish. The Warhawk beats the Backbiter when they're just trading strength attacks. Just because the Warhawk has so much more strength to begin with. Even if he does take that first hit, he's still going to come out of it. But to be honest, I think trading a Backbiter for a Warhawk is probably an excellent trade. So this Siege Archer takes out a Thrasher, actually kills him. He pumps it and actually kills the Thrasher completely instead of leaving him on 1 hit point. It might be a bad idea in this case, but these Thrashers do have a lot of armor break, and he does have a ton of armor that he wants to protect here. So the Thrasher left alive might have been able to do too much armor break to be worth risking keeping alive. Oh, so we've got a tar down on the Provoker, so the Provoker's got to move off that. He did take 1-1, but now he's able to go in and, ooh, one-shot that Archer. So this is where that high-strength Provoker really comes into play. You can just walk up and do a ton of strength damage. Just killed that Archer straight up. So it looks like although Raven or Carrots has been able to kill 2 units, the units that are left are pretty strong, so the turn advantage of Vering is actually going to start to kick back. He's going to be able to recover from this slight disadvantage, especially once he can use these 2 units. So he's maimed 1 now, that's really good. So he really has only has 2 high strength units, so it looks like Vering's way behind at this point. Oh, strong counterattack. So his Provoker's still really strong. This Provoker's actually lost a bit of armor, so he's actually going to be able to take damage from the Siege Archer at the back here. This Thrasher's going to be free to knock off as much armor as he likes of these archers. And we've got an ad. This is the fan stream, really exciting. Ooh, lots of views. There's definitely some great stuff on this. There's heaps of videos to check out. Heaps more that I haven't even seen yet. So I definitely recommend coming to this Ustream. It's one of the best, if not the best. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, so we've got... Okay, there's a Thrasher just moved around to give an armor boost over here. But now this Thrasher's open so he can go in and knock off the armor of these 2 Siege Archers. So because a unit died here, the Warhawk got back in front of the Backbiter, so he actually gets 2 attacks on this Backbiter in a row. Just completely cripples him. So now this backbite is almost completely useless. So it's not looking great for Vering, but he does have these two really strong units, both at full armor, both at full strength. Whereas on Raven's side, the only unit he's got with much armor is one archer, and this Provoker's got a decent amount, but he's probably about to lose a chunk of it. And that archer can probably still do a bit of damage to him. Okay, so he wants to move the siege archer over here so he can knock off some armor. No, he's going to tar. So he wants to get this Provoker to move. He's going to do 1-1. I think in this case I would have just gone for the armor break, spent that extra willpower to take down the armor, because these archers aren't going to die anytime soon. There's nothing really threatening them. They're going to have their armor knocked down, but they're going to have heaps and heaps of strength. By taking that armor down, that means in a couple of turns' time he's going to have no armor. They're going to be able to one-shot him or two-shot him. But it's still definitely anyone's game. So we've got to provoke here. So he wants to... Oh, so that he's done a combo here. This is awesome, actually. So what he's done is he's done 1-1. He's walked in with his Provoker. He's made it so the Provoker wastes its turn attacking this Provoker, losing another armor. So 2-1. And then when it's the Siege Archer's next turn, this detonates. And it does... Oh, double! So now he's laid down another... Oh my god. So this Provoker is going to be taking 6-6. And he's already taken 3-2. So that Provoker's going down like nobody's business. That's a really nice combo. So 3 turns, and that Provoker's basically destroyed, completely maimed. As I said, this Thrasher's doing work on the armor. All he's good for is knocking off the armor of these archers, so that way, hopefully, the Siege Archer at the back here can finish them off. Unfortunately, this Thrasher here is still quite strong. Not anymore. Archer just cleans him up. That puncture, low armor units, destroys them. So super effective. So he's got a 90% chance to hit. He's going to pump it for 1. Now this guy's guaranteed to die as soon as one of these flames detonates. And that's going to be on the next turn. This is Backbiter 8-3. He's got lots of armor. Hasn't actually taken any armor damage. The only one that can punch over that armor is the Warhawk. So he's just breaking that armor. So there you go. Huge explosion. This guy goes down. The Provoker over here did take 2-2 as well. So not ideal. But yeah, taking down a Provoker with 3-4 actions, it's pretty good. Takes down that other Thrasher, so now it's down to this lone Siege Archer. It's taken 1 strength damage to do some serious work against these low armor targets. And he's got a Backbiter with high strength, high armor, low strength to help him out. So you got to remember that it's 4 against 2, so this Siege Archer is going to be getting a ton of turns. So with repositioning and getting that puncture, he's going to be able to do some real work. In this instance, I'm not sure what I would do if I was Carrots. It's not ideal to kill this Backbiter, but it's not ideal to leave him alive. It's not ideal to chase after this Siege Archer, but it's not ideal to let him get too far away and build up willpower. So it's just tough decisions all around. Basically, with this Backbiter, he's just trying to knock off as much armor as possible, so this Siege Archer is able to one-shot each unit as it gets close. And he's got 5 strength, so he's guaranteed to do 5 damage as long as they don't have any armor. And then for each 2 points of armor he's missing, he's going to be doing an extra 2. He gets off the hit, so knocks down 1 more strength on this Backbiter. He's still going to be able to knock off half this Provoker's armor though on his next action, and this Warhawk is going down. So yeah, this pesky Backbiter has so much armor. Oh, he missed. 10% chance to miss, and he missed. That's unfortunate. But I think if he had chosen to knock off armor with this first shot and then done a strength attack, it would have been a guaranteed kill. So I think better off knocking off armor than going for these 1-point hits each time. That's my guess anyway. So while these three are slowly trying to beat down this lone backbiter and he's knocking off all their armor, this archer over here can just sit there, build up willpower, and hopefully kill them each as they try to get within range. That's the plan anyway. So really good endgame play by both players. It's just tough to know what to do in situations like this. They're both playing extremely well. You can see, although the game seemed a bit slow at the start, like the action ramped up real quick. Now we're just down to a couple of units each. Okay, so now on Carrot's side, he has 1 armor on each of his archers, so they will die in 1 hit, and 8 strength following provoker with no armor, so he's guaranteed to die on any attack where the siege archer over here is standing still. But all the units on the enemy team will survive if the siege archer has had to move on their turn. So like 2 shots if she moves, 1 shot if she's able to stand still. So she wants to get into a position where she can shoot and not have to move. Oh, backbiter gets off a little slash to soften up the provoker a little bit more. Ah, he's building up willpower, so he wants to use that willpower to get off some extra hits. So you got to keep in mind that this siege archer still has 8 armor. So to even... She might only have 5 life, but they're not going to be able to hit over the top of that armor unless they can get in and knock off a chunk of it. So it's actually going to take 2 or 3 shots to kill this siege archer, whereas it's only going to take her 1 or at most 2 shots to kill each of these units. Remember, she's getting a turn after each one of their turns. So I think in this situation, what Carrot has to try to do is to move an archer in, break armor, that archer dies. Move an archer in, break armor, that archer dies. And then have enough willpower on this Thrasher that on that next turn he can charge in and kill her. But the Provokers only have 3 movement, so that's going to be tough. It's going to be real tough. And finally this Backbiter goes down. Most stubborn unit I have ever seen. He was able to destroy all their armor and get in some strength hits as well. He was just doing work. Doing some serious work. So I really don't know who's going to win this. Could seriously go either way. Archer's getting in position. It's out by 1 square. Nope, moves just out of range. So it's hard to see, but both siege archers on this side have 2 willpower. The archer over here on Vering's team has 3 willpower. So he can pump with willpower to get off 1-turn kills. Looks like that's what he's going to go in and do right here. I spent an extra willpower on that move to get into a more favourable position. Pumps the willpower, takes out an archer. No, drops it a 1 hit point. He knows that her turn's coming up next and she's not going to be able to do much with only 1 strength. But she can still do a ton of armor damage. He just took 5 armor damage, so now he can die from a puncture attack from this siege archer. Will 5, so 4... 2 extra damage, 9 minus 3. Will kill him by 1 point. He's actually moved out of position. So he's played a bit defensively. He wants to move to force them to move in so he can get puncture on the next attack. But they can't get any attacks off of him. And he'll get another attack before this archer's next turn. So he's just trying to knock down the strength of these archers as safely as possible, so that way then he can just deal with them as he pleases. I'm not sure about this provoker moving over here. He's trying to keep it out of range, but he's actually moved it into range by 1 square. So maybe a bad calculation there. But Vering doesn't care. He needs to take down this archer. moves in. He's going to be doing 4 damage to her. She's got 1 armor. Pumps it for a willpower. Does 5 damage, drops it down to 2 strength. He's just going for it. He's just trying to do some damage here. Does 3 damage, drops it down to 2. Her turn again. She's got puncture bonus. She can probably still one-shot this provoker just, but these non-moving siege archers are going to be puncturing as well. Oh, puncture! She hasn't lost that much armor, so their bonus puncture is only going to allow them to do 1 damage. So he does the smart thing, he knocks off armor, so that way on his next turn he's guaranteed to kill. And that looks like game. Carrots wins on his last attack with 1 hit point. Awesome game. Awesome, awesome game. I'm not sure what they could have done differently. If you're watching, maybe you've got some ideas. But that's one of the closest games I've seen. Awesome, awesome game. And congratulations to the victor. And congratulations to both players for such an awesome match. That was cool. Definitely got to watch some more of this channel. It's awesome. Just some of the best players on the server. Well, I hope you liked that one. It's time for me to go get some sleep. It's time for you guys to watch some more streams. You can check out my channel on Own3D. I've also got a YouTube channel which is Batlads, Batlads. You can check out that. I've got a couple of commentated videos. But all of my video commentaries are up on my Own3D site, which is Own3D. You're probably watching it on there. Own3D.tv/rhythmcaster, RHYTHMCASTR. So check that out if you want to see some more commentaries of games I've played. Hopefully soon you'll see some more commentaries of other people's games as well. Gotta watch these high level games. Just seeing, yeah, just awesome play on both sides. Really cool tactics. And you get to see some comps that, you know, maybe you want to test something out yourself, but you don't have a chance or you're not sure how it'll go. Watch a professional play it and then see how it goes. See if you can learn something. I hope everyone had a good time. I'll catch you all next time. See ya.